Welcome back. In this skill, I'm going to talk to you about the invitation. Now, this is one of the most critical skills that you can develop because if people are not looking at your business, then you don't have a business. So getting people to take a look is critical. We're going to help you to build relationships. Now, remember, this is a business about relationships. It's not a business about scalps. You're not in the business of selling a product and then leaving that product with a person and moving on to the next person. You're in the business of building relationships with these people, either as customers, so that you have a long-term customer, or with downline members who are going to become part of your team and make your team work. Now, part of that is building trust. People need to be able to trust you implicitly to do what you say and meet their expectations. You are not a hunter. So many people in our industry think they're out there just going to get scalps. And they hunt people down and then they close them hard and then they've got their scalp and they move on to the next person. That's not what this is about. We're about educating our prospects and getting them to a point where they will decide to become part of our network without actually you having to close them aggressively. So the idea is to let the prospect decide if they're interested. So give them the information, educate them, and let them decide when they're ready to get involved. Then only show the products to people that you like. This is a long-term business. You'll be in this business for donkey's years. If you're successful, it will be decades. And so what you want to be very careful of is that you don't bring people on board who irritate you. So be very careful of who you show the business to. Extending the invitation is critical, and there are a number of places you're inviting people to. You could have home presentations. This is where somebody, your upline or a member of your network, has a presentation at home and the opportunity gets presented. So you could invite people to that. There are group opportunity meetings where a leader will be hosting a meeting in a venue and you can take people to those meetings. You have coffee shop presentations. This is where you can get together with yourself, your prospect, and your upline, and you can present the opportunity in a coffee shop. It's a fantastic way to do a presentation. You can have Zoom webinars. Awesome way to do a presentation is get people onto a Zoom webinar where you can show them the business. Generally, your upline is hosting that webinar. You could do 2-on-1 conference calls. Hey, John, I'd like to get together on a phone line with my upline to just tell you a bit more about the business, and off you go. You can have seminars and conventions. This is an amazing thing. If you can get people to one of the big events, to the seminars and conventions, the closing ratios from those events are huge. People get the scope of the business, they get a real understanding of what you're doing, and generally you can get them to join the business quite easily. Now, most important, be honest. Don't go out there and pretend that this is not an MLM business or whatever. If the person asks you if it's an MLM business, deal with that. We'll show you how to deal with it in the objections. But be honest with your people. Listen, I've got this business opportunity. I'd like you to come and take a look at it. Is it MLM? You can answer that question. We'll provide you with the tools. But don't BS people. You're trying to create a long-term relationship. You're trying to create trust. And if you are not honest with people, they will stop trusting you and you will never run a successful business. Now, a key part of the strategies that we are proposing in this training is that you have to use the company tools. You don't want to be the expert. You want the tools to be the expert. And what you want to be doing is inviting people to take a look at the tools. Now, a key tool could be a YouTube video. Hey, if I send you a link to the YouTube video, would you take a look at it? Obviously, there are webinars. Now, there's some wonderful ways of employing webinars to make a successful pitch of the product. And so webinars could be an amazing company tool that you get people to take a look at. You could just give them a brochure to look through. You could even send them to the website. Hey, check out the website and tell me what you think. You could share product samples with them. So if you're doing a presentation and you want to let them try out the products, you could give them samples of the product. Or you could demonstrate the products to them and let them feel and try out the products. Those are all part of the company tools. Seminars and conventions, again, as I say, are a killer company tool that I would recommend highly that you use whenever possible. Now, there's a 3-step approach to getting a person to take a look at the opportunity. So first of all, get the person to connect with the tool. Second of all, follow up with them and invite them to an event. And then thirdly, do this regularly. So get some momentum, do this with them consistently, move from connection to connection, and get them involved in the business. The first thing for you when developing your approach is to find out what tools work for you best. So you need to try out all the different tools. Whatever tools the company's got, you need to try them out, see what works best for you. Then you need to teach your people, your network, how to do the same. And then measure their progress, and if they're stumbling, help them. Find out what's not working, get them the assistance and the training that they need in order to succeed. Don't dazzle them with your brilliance. Rather help them to achieve this through simple steps that are easy to duplicate. The secret, genuinely, in our business is duplication. You cannot teach a lot of people to do a whole lot of complex, difficult things, but you can teach a lot of people to do a few simple things over and over and over again. And that's what our business is about, and that's how you succeed. Now, rule 1. Be emotionally disconnected. What I mean by that is don't be put off by people not being interested in the opportunity. If they're not interested in the opportunity, that's fine. They're rejecting the opportunity, they're not rejecting you. So there's no problems with that. They don't like it, move on. But don't take that emotion on board yourself. Focus on education and understanding. Now you've got 2 ears, 1 mouth, so listen twice as much as you talk. Don't try to recruit and close. Remember, you're not a scalp hunter. What you're trying to do is build relationships. So move from connection to connection until the person is ready to join. Think of yourself as a consultant. Now, when you're consulting, one of the skills that you have is you find out everything you need to know about the client before you start giving them advice. So by the time you start giving them advice, you know exactly where they are as a person. You know exactly what they're looking for. You know everything you need to know about their business, and then you can give them advice. The same thing with our business. In MLM, what you want to do is you want to find out as much as you can about the client, about the prospect, and then you want to provide them the solutions that will get them to the goals they're trying to achieve. Rule 2, be yourself. Be your authentic self. So many people put on crazy airs and graces. Just be who you are. You will attract people, like-minded people, people who relate to you. You will attract them into your orbit. If you're a super shy person, don't worry about it. Just be yourself. People will be attracted to your personality. And then rule number 3, be enthusiastic. If you're not excited about the business, how are you going to get other people to be excited about it? And rule number 4, have a strong posture. Man, you're not sitting here with your cap in your hand begging people to join your business. What you've got is an incredible opportunity. And remember, in today's age, an opportunity is much more valuable than a job. Opportunity can set you free. A job traps you. In a job, you've got time constraints, you've got money constraints, people are only paying you what you're worth. In an opportunity, the sky is literally the limit. So again, you're not here with your cap in your hand trying to beg people to join your business. What you're here doing is offering the most incredible opportunity. So your posture needs to be strong. When people ask you why you're doing it, you need to have a strong posture. You need to have a strong story why you're doing it. Here's an example. For the longest time, I've been dissatisfied with living an average life. That's why I'm doing it. I've been dissatisfied. Then I discovered this opportunity, and I decided to make a change. And I'm now fully focused on making this a huge success. Can you see this? The posture here is very, very positive. Now, obviously, you need to create your own story, why you're doing this, and we'll talk about how you develop that story down the line, but you need to have a strong posture when you're going into the business. Now, I'm going to teach you a invitation formula that works, okay? There's 8 steps to it. 1, be in a hurry, compliment the prospect, make the invitation. If I were you, get the time commitment, confirm the time commitment, schedule the next call, and then get off the phone. Now, I'm going to take you through each of these steps one at a time, and I'm going to show you how these all fit together at the end. So we'll go through step 1, be in a hurry, with some examples of what text you could use. Step 2, compliment the prospect with examples of what text you could use. And I'll go through all 8 steps one at a time, and then at the end, I'll tie all of this up together. But I just want to talk from a sort of high-level point of view about each one as we go through it. So let's start with being in a hurry. Why are you in a hurry? The reason you're in a hurry is that you don't want to have to sit on the phone explaining every detail of the business to the person, because the tendency is for the person to say, well, tell me about it now. And you need to have a reason to say, I don't have the time now. I want to get off the phone, and I will send you the tools, the company tools that will explain it much better than I can. So I always start my sessions with, I don't have a lot of time to talk now, but it's really important I reach out to you. So this is to somebody you know. Hey, John, I don't have a lot of time now, but I really wanted to reach out to you. I don't have a lot of time means that if they say, well, tell me more about it, you say, I really don't have the time now, but don't worry, the company tools will explain it better than I ever could. I have a million things going on, but I'm glad I caught you. I'm running out the door, but I need to talk to you real quick. Now, to a cold prospect, you could do the same thing. Now isn't the time to get into it, and I have to go, but. Now, an example of where I use this, and it works like a bomb. I'm at a restaurant, and I get some great service. And as I'm leaving, I say, now isn't the time to get into it, and I have to run, but. And I can now drop the invitation on that waitress, for example, to take a look at the business. And I can do that with my hairdresser or my doctor or anybody. I can just say, listen, I don't have the time now, rushing out the door, but, and I can drop into the next section, which will be step 2. Step number 2, you want to give a sincere compliment. Okay? Now, why are you giving a compliment? It's because you want the person focused on the compliment rather than on the delivery of the rest of the message. You want people feeling good about the conversation and the interaction. So with a hot prospect, you might say, you've always been supportive of me, and I appreciate that so much. So, hey, you're a supportive guy. I really appreciate that. There's a nice compliment there. Or, you have an amazing mind for business and can see things that other people don't see. Great compliment. For as long as I've known you, I thought you were the best at what you do. Now, to a cold prospect, you've given me some of the best service I've ever received. Again, going back to the waitress, you could say something like, don't have a lot of time to talk now because I'm in a bit of a rush, but you've given me some of the best service I've ever received. Do you see how that works? Now, I can do that to anybody. I could do that to my doctor. Hey, doc, I don't have a lot of time to talk now because I'm in a bit of a rush, but yes, it's been so nice seeing you again. And you can move on to the next step, which will be in step 3, we'll talk about in a minute. You're super sharp. Can I ask you what you do for a living? So you bump into somebody. It could be anybody. You could start a conversation at a bus stop. And then you say to the person, look, you're super sharp. Can I ask you what you do for a living? And there's a nice compliment. Now, step 3, make the invitation. So step 1, we've said to them we're in a rush. Step 2, we've dropped a compliment in their lap. And now step 3, we need to invite them to take a look at the company tools. Here we go. Warm market direct approach. When you told me you hated your job and needed more money, were you serious or just kidding around? If you were serious, I think I found a way for you to solve the problem and make that happen. So here we are now going into the direct approach. So making the invitation. I think I've found a way for us to really boost our cash flow. When I thought of people who can make an absolute fortune with the business I found, I thought of you. Are you still looking for a different job? I found a way for both of us to start a great business without all the risk. Let me ask you a question off the record. If there was a business you could start working part-time from home, would you be interested? And you can follow this with something like, I found something that might interest you. Now's not the time to get into it, but. Now, the same thing applies to the cold market. Have you ever thought of diversifying your income? Simple question, and you're going to get an answer to that. Do you keep your career options open? Do you plan on doing what you're doing right now for the rest of your career? Follow this with, I have something that might interest you. Now's not the time to get into it, but, and off you go. So these are all ways of making the invitation either to a hot or a cold lead. Now, you can also get super indirect. So you might be talking to somebody who you really are nervous about talking to. And so you could actually drop this in their lap without them feeling like you're pitching them. I've just started a new business and I'm really nervous. Before I get going, I need to practice on somebody friendly. Would you mind if I practice on you? So that gives you the opportunity to practice on the person. If they see that this is a great opportunity, they'll bite. I found this business I'm really excited about, but what do I know? You have so much experience. Would you look at it for me if I made it easy on you? And let me know if you think I'm making the right move. Okay, that's a bit of a mouthful. You can rephrase that any way you want, but the bottom line is, hey, you got so much experience. Would you take a look at this for me and just let me know if I'm doing the right thing here? A friend told me the best thing I could do when starting a new business is to get people I respect to take a look at it and give me some guidance. Would you be willing to do that for me if I made it real simple? Again, a friend of mine said to me that if I start a new business, I should get somebody to take a look at it. Would you do that for me and just let me know what you think? It's a very simple approach. It's indirect. You're not putting the person under any pressure. They got a great compliment and off they go. Cold market indirect. My company's expanding in your area. Would you do me a favor of looking at it and letting me know if it would work where you live? So I'm getting your opinion on whether this would work where you live. I've started a business with a product I think makes a lot of sense, but I'd like to get some input. Would you be willing to check it out and give me your opinion? Step 3. Warm and cold market, the super indirect approach. So you can see we're going from the direct approach to the indirect approach to completely super indirect approach here. The business I'm in clearly isn't for you, but I want to ask you, do you know anyone who is ambitious, money motivated, and would be excited about the idea of adding more cash flow to their lives? Or you could say something like, who do you know that might be looking for a strong business they could run from home? Another option is, who do you know that is hitting the wall with their business and might be looking for a way to diversify their income? Or, I'm working with a company that's expanding in your area and I'm looking for some sharp people that might be interested in adding some additional cash flow. Do you know anybody who might fit that description? Now, often a person would be thinking, well, I fit that description. And your indirect approach then can get them to think, well, what about me? Most people will ask you for more information because who gives away their friends' numbers without knowing more about it? Now they'll say, can I have some more information, please? And you say something like, it makes sense that you would want to know more about it before you refer some of your contacts. Next, you're going to go into step 4, which is if I would you. This is what we call reciprocity. If I do this for you, would you do that for me? So here's a script example. If I give you a link to a webinar with a complete presentation, would you check it out? So if I give you the link, would you take a look at it? If I invite you to a special invitation-only webinar, would you attend? If I invite you to a special invitation-only Zoom call, would you listen in? Now, there's a reason this is so powerful. First of all, it creates reciprocity. I'm doing something for you, therefore, would you do something for me? Secondly, you're in control. If I do this, would you do that? You're controlling that conversation. Thirdly, it implies that you have something of great value to offer. I'm doing this for you, you do that for me, so I'm doing something valuable for you, would you do something valuable for me? The answer is almost always yes. If I send you this link, would you take a look at it? Almost always a person will say, yeah, sure. If they say no, don't give them the material. If I say to you, listen, if I send you a link, will you take a look at it? You say, no, there's no ways I'm sending you the link. Why would I? So don't send them the material. Remember, your posture needs to be strong. Step number 5, get confirmation. You'll see how this all hangs together in a minute. Now what you want to do is you want to get them to confirm that they're actually going to look at it. So if I send you the link, would you take a look at it? They say yes. You say, fantastic. When do you think you'd be able to watch the presentation for sure? They are going to then give you a time. So they are now deciding on when they are going to watch it. So you're not saying, can you watch it tonight? No, I can't. How about tomorrow? No, I can't do it then. How about the day after? No, that's also too busy. You just throw it into their court. When do you think you'd be able to watch the presentation for sure? When would you be able to attend the webinar for sure? I'll set up the Zoom meeting. Which day would you be able to attend for sure? When do you think you'd be able to watch the YouTube video for sure? And when would you be able to listen to the podcast for sure? This is very, very powerful. And why it's so powerful is because you are asking them when. They are now sitting thinking about their diary, and they're coming up with the time commitment, and they are telling you when they're going to watch it. You're not telling them, they're telling you. So they make the time commitment, not you. This is very powerful, and it's key. It makes it real for them. When you said, if I send you a link, would you watch it? It wasn't real. The second you got them to decide on when they're going to watch it, it became real for them. And most often, they will give you an answer. So you've asked them, will you watch it? They said yes. Now, what are they going to do? Oh, no, I don't have any time to watch it, actually. Well, that doesn't really happen very often. So most often, they'll give you a time. If they're vague, you obviously need to tie them down. They've given you a time, so you want to tie that time down. If they told you they'd consume the content on Wednesday, you say, so if I called you on Thursday, you would have watched the video for sure, right? At this point, they've said to you they're going to watch the video. They've said to you they're going to watch it at 10 o'clock on Wednesday. And you have now said to them, so if I called you on Thursday, you would have watched it for sure, right? Why this is so powerful? You didn't set the appointment, they did. So if I call you on Thursday, you'd have watched it for sure, right? They're setting the appointment. Now what you want to do is keep it short and simple. Confirmation number 3, schedule the call. What's the best time for me to call you? So you've already told you, if I called you on Thursday, you'd have watched it for sure, right? They say yes. What's the best time for me to call? They give you a time, and you have a real appointment. So remember what I said to you at the beginning of this. You're moving from connection to connection. Every time you connect with them, you want to set up the next appointment so you can connect with them again. So if they give you the time, and you have a real appointment, and you didn't set the time, you didn't set the date they're going to watch this. All of that they did themselves. Put it in your diary. Be sure to call them. Remember, you're trying to build up a relationship of trust. If you don't call them, the trust is out of the window. Why is this so important? They have said 4 times, yes. 4 times. So they've committed 4 times that they're going to watch this, and they're going to take a look at it, and they're going to give you their opinion. The entire process takes a few minutes. It's really, really quick. Your chance of achieving your goals has gone from 5% to 80% because now the person is committed. Then you want to go to step 8, which is get out of there. Get off the phone, get away from them, move on, because you don't want to get sucked into a conversation. So great, we'll talk then. Must run. Cheers. The process is quick. So this is why it's so powerful. The tool does the work. You don't have to present the opportunity or the products. The tool will do the presentation. So here we go. Person you know who hates their job approach. So this is the entire presentation laid out for you. Hey, I don't have a lot of time to talk, but it was important I reached out to you. Listen, you're one of the most fantastic, intelligent people I know, and I've always respected that about you. When you told me you really didn't like your job, were you serious? They say they were serious. Great. I think I've found a way to create an exit strategy. I have a link to a YouTube video that describes what I'm talking about better than I ever could. If I give you the link, would you listen to it? They say yes. When do you think you'd be able to listen to it for sure? They say Tuesday. So if I call you on Wednesday morning, you'll have watched it for sure, right? They say yes. All right, I'll check back with you then. What is the best number and time for me to call? They give you the information. Got it. We'll talk then. Gotta run. Thanks. So guys, can you see how quick this works? I dashed through this thing. It's like 2 minutes worth of calls. Not even. I probably did that in under a minute. And at the end of it, they've agreed to take a look at the video. They've agreed that they are going to do it on Tuesday. They've agreed that I can call them on Wednesday. They've given me the telephone number and the time that they can call them, and I'm out of there. So they've committed 4 times that they're going to watch it, and I'm out of there. Now you can do this on the phone. You can do this face to face. You can do this with a WhatsApp message. So again, going through those steps, be in a hurry. Compliment the prospect. Make the invitation, if I would you. Get the commitment, confirm the time, schedule the next call, get in the phone. Now I'm going to go through an example of doing this for a waitress. So I have a meal, waitress gives me great service. As I'm leaving, I'll say to her, listen, I got to run. I don't have a lot of time now, but man, that was great service you gave me. I've got this business that I think you'd be excellent at. If I send you a link, would you take a look at it? She says, yes, sure. Why shouldn't she? I say, okay, when do you think you'd be able to look at it for sure? She says, well, straight after work today. So if I gave you a call tomorrow, you'd have taken a look at it for sure, right? She says, yes. I say, excellent. What time should I call you? She says, 10 o'clock. Give me your number, please. I put the number in my phone. Let me WhatsApp this message to you right now. WhatsApp it to her. Got to run. Thanks a stack for the service again. Chat with you tomorrow, and I'm out of there. Can you see that I can do that with anybody? The last time I did this training in person, we sent our team out into the shopping mall, and we sent to them the first person back with 5 names is going to win a bar 1. The one lady came back with, inside 2 minutes, she had 5 names. So this is an issue, is that you can approach anybody, anywhere, at any time with this, and you can build a business based on complete strangers who you connect with in a very simple way. It can be your hairdresser, your doctor. It can be a person that you're sitting next to in a bus. You can step into a lift. You can actually do all sorts of ways of actually getting people to just take a look at the opportunity with this concept. So that's skill number 2, the invitation. Believe me, if you master the skill, half of your business is done for you, because connecting with people and getting people to take a look at the opportunity is the biggest part of the business by far. Trust me when I say, if you can get people to take a look at the business, you can build a business. Thank you very much for spending this time with me, and I'll see you in skill number 3.